Okay, welcome in. Today we're going to be discussing getting started with RStudio. Sometimes one of the trickiest things can just be getting oriented with a new program like this. So we're going to start from absolute zero. I'm going to Google and I'm typing in download RStudio. Hit enter. You can see I've clicked this before. Download the RStudio IDE. Click here. It will give you a bunch of different versions. You can pay for the Desktop Pro or this thing called the Workbench. But I just use RStudio Desktop for free. If you click download here and I'm on a Mac, there's other options for a PC. I think it will detect if you're on a PC or not, but you will just click download RStudio for Mac. It'll enter your downloads, you'll double click and you should be able to get, actually, let's mine as well. So I hit download on the bottom left. I get this sort of DMG object. It opens up and then let me just switch my screen share to here. And as you can see, I just get this new sort of application download for RStudio. I can drag this to my desktop and then go ahead and start using RStudio. So let's actually turn to what RStudio looks like. This is once you've opened it. A little bit intimidating if you've never seen it before. It might seem like you're in the matrix. There's 4 really simple panes here. So kind of like window panes, you can kind of see top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. Each is super useful. Each has sort of its own purpose. So the top right, I like to have it in this formation. You could always change the kind of orientation of where they're located. This is the console. You can type things directly in and it will return something. So a nice way to start with RStudio is just using it as a simple calculator. If I type in 3 plus 3, I get 6. If I type in 8 times 2, I'm going to get 16. If I type in 9 divided by 0, it gives me infinity, which technically isn't correct. Dividing by 0 is undefined, but you sort of get the idea. However, if I don't just want to type in line by line my code here on this console, or in the console, I can actually go to the script editor in the top right. So you can see I clicked in the top right, and now I have my script editor here, and I can actually just kind of like a notepad save the different code and collect it all here together. So if I go to each row, I can either highlight it, click at the end of the row, and then hit Control Return. And you can see on the console that code ran, gives me 3 plus 3 is 6. If I go to the second row, hit Control Enter, I get 8 times 2 is 16. If I go to this third row, I can either hit Control Enter, I can hit Run, and it'll run 9 divided by 0 is infinity. So that's pretty neat. The bottom left pane, the top panes are kind of the main panes. The bottom left pane is also useful. It's got a couple of different tabs. History naturally will give you a history of commands run. So you can see I've got 3 plus 3, 8 times 2, 9 divided by 0. And if you actually want to run them again, you can just double click and it will pre-populate in the console so it can run again. So very user friendly. All this other code is stuff that I was running before, so not before this video. And then the environment is telling you all the objects or variables you have saved in R. So for example, if I was to say, instead of 3 plus 3, x equals 3 plus 3, and instead of using the equal sign, I use this like little arrow thing, like the less than sign and then a hyphen. We'll get to why that is later, but for now, just think of it as equals. If I do run this piece of code, so x is 3 plus 3, run that. You can see it ran in my console, and you can see in my environment, I have x is the variable stored and the value is 6. So now if I go to my console and I just type x, I hit enter, I'm going to get 6 back. So this is the super basic intro to RStudio. Hopefully now you're familiar with kind of collecting your script, your code in the top left, running it in the console and stuff that gets saved in your environment and in your history. The bottom right is where you'll view plots when you make them in RStudio. We're going to get to that later. There's also a way to view packages, a way to get help. And again, that will be for a later video. So we'll see you next time.